Jai Shri Mataji. Let us all humbly bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Kundalini, and put ourselves in Mother's Bandhan. We'll offer the three Mahamantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmal Ganesh Mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmal Ganesh Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Ganesh, by your grace, we are the pure children of our Divine Mother. By your grace, Shri Ganesha, we are and will forever remain innocent and chaste. Shri Nirmal Vidya Mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmal Vidya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, by your grace, we are enlightened with the pure knowledge and have rejected all other false knowledge. Shri Nirmal Icha. Om Tvameva Saksha Shri Nirmal Icha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, by your grace, we are the pure desire of the divine. Our only desire is to be the instrument that is used by you. Shri Nirmal Chitta. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmal Chitta Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, by your grace, I am the pure attention. By your grace, Shri Mataji, my attention is concentrated and not frittered away. And by your grace, Shri Mataji, my intention exists and is powerful enough only to serve you. We'll offer a puja today to Shri Mataji in the form of Shri Kubera and Shri Virat. Let's bring our attention to the Vishuddhi Chakra. We'll offer the mantra to Shri Radha Krishna. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
Today we are going to worship Sri Krishna as a very great personality, and you know why he came on this earth to establish this is the new form of not Virat, not Virata, but a form by which this country became so prosperous. And by his advent only, he created a beautiful mentality among the people, how to develop this country with dharma. And you had very great leaders who followed him and who worshipped him in a way and created a new world of this America. But unfortunately, as the time passed on, his form vanished from the minds of the people. The reason was Krishna was represented here by a very, very wrong type of people who had no idea about Shri Krishna. That he was a great master of wealth, that he knew how to use the wealth and how to create the wealth with dharma, not with adharma. They all forgot about it completely and gradually started using maneuvering powers, all kinds of adharmic things, cheating, grabbing money, spending their money in absolutely uselessly. He is Kubera. He doesn't need any money, of course. He achieves money. And not only that, he lived in money. They said that he created a golden house for him, absolutely made with gold in Dwarika. But it's submerged in the water, in the sea. And nobody believed that it is true. But now they have found out his house under the waters, very deep waters. So, all their conjecture about him was wrong, all false. That he was definitely a man who made lots of money by dharma. Also, he was a son of a king, and he built this Dwarika out of gold. It is still there, and people have found it, but under the sea. Thousands of years have passed, but still existed. Only because perhaps we belong to Shri Krishna, it is still existing. That's what it is. Because he was the one who was for Satya, for truth. He was for truth. And he worked out everything on the principle of truth. Whatever was not truth, he tried to finish it up. Whatever was destructive, he tried to remove that. And he established himself through truth only. He is the one who represents the truth, absolute truth, and how the truth can prevail in everything. I'm just the opposite of him because I don't understand money at all. But he's looking after that part in my life. I'm so hopelessly bad. I don't understand banking. I don't understand money. I can't even count money. Now, what can you say to that? But he's there to look after. And I have never a dearth of money, never a dearth of any wealth. It's all full of it. Also, it comes through your sense of satisfaction. If you have that sense of satisfaction, you don't look for money. What happened in your country that some people got money? If you got little money, then you get the taste of money. They are not satisfied people. So like mad, they went on spending on nonsensical things. It is something very much human. After human evolution, after you have reached a certain state of enlightenment, then all these demeaning things like greed all disappear from your character. You don't have that greed in you anymore, and you become extremely a satisfied person. To you, money is there, all right, but it's not so important. It is just that you think you don't need it, and you get it. All done by Shri Krishna all over. Can you imagine? He is doing all this, looking after you and helping you with money. We started Sahaja Yoga without a single pie. I never had any problem. So, one thing, as Kubera, he is the supplier of money. He looks after people who don't have money. He gives money to people who stand by truth, who enjoy the life of truth. It is his work that people enjoy wealth. Otherwise they don't. They have this much, they want to have more. That means they don't enjoy the wealth. They have a little, they want to get much more. Why? Because they are not enjoying whatever they have. But after self-realization, you will see that you enjoy whatever you have. You enjoy it fully, absolutely, and you don't hanker after something that is not there. Doesn't matter if you don't have. Many a times people have asked me, Mother, why not we have the puja of Krishna as Kubera? I said, no. Just now everybody is trying to become Kubera. Let them learn a lesson. And then we will have the puja of Kubera. And that's why today I have agreed to have this puja. Because now you have seen what happens if you have greed. You go on committing all kinds of sins, all kinds of wrong things, which can destroy your country. Such a rich country has now become a poor country. Where is that money gone? They are very clever. Somebody told me today that it's money with the insurance. My God, I said, the law is such that you can't get out that money. Secondly, they said that it is in offshore and all that. I said, but see now, they were never afraid that they'll be caught up. And they continued for so many years. But I'm sure one day they'll all be exposed by Kubera himself. So, today by worshipping Kubera, what we are doing, we are going to establish the truth of money. What lies behind the money? What is the point of having money? This country had money As a result, so many good people came here to work, and you had so many complimentary things. You had lots of people who have complimented. Because I think in certain things Americans were a little less. Not in intelligence, but in brilliance I think they were a little bit lacking. So they got very brilliant people from abroad. And also they were very focused people, so they worked it out very well. Also they respected people who came with brains. So this is what happens when you forget that truth is the main point. If you don't have the truth, no use having money. Because what you did was to go around with this thing, that thing, all kinds of things, to just get money. The other day I was traveling through Las Vegas, last year. And when we stopped at that airport, so many people walked into the aeroplane. And they all were looking as if somebody is dead in their family, what has happened. First I couldn't understand. Then said, Mother, they have lost all their money. So, when they have money, they are jumping. Next moment, they are crying because they have lost the money. What's the use of such a money, which is so temporary, which is so useless? But that is human nature, to run after Maya. And this is the quality of money, that it gives you Maya. Maya like this, that they get a little money somewhere. With that little money, they buy something. Then they think money is very important. So you can buy lots of things. You can buy cars, you can buy aeroplanes, this, that. So there is where Maya plays on. And you start running after that mad money, which makes you mad. It's nice that at this juncture they have discovered the falsehood of this Maya money. And I'm so happy that they were all handcuffed and all their power of money was finished. So, this Kubera is working out all these tricks. Krishna is a very tricky, extremely tricky personality. He puts the tricks every action after every action. Now, money matters, he first befools you, that you run after it. And then you just discover that it was stupidity. We have a story in our country called Sheikh Chili. He got little money and he got into the grab of this Maya. So he thought, I can do very well. So he started dreaming as to what he should do. So he went and bought lots of eggs. And he said, now these eggs will have little chicks, which will grow, which will I'll sell, and I'll so much money, like that he was talking. And while thinking about it in his mind, went off to sleep. And then in his sleep he fell on the eggs, and all the eggs broke. So the Maya was over. This should happen early, but if it doesn't happen, then you end up in the jail or something like that. Sahaja is one thing which gives you a complete vision of the destruction that can follow this Maya business. It is something such a insight that you don't have to do anything with it. I'm different, I told you, I don't understand it at all. But even if you understand the value of money, even if you understand that money can bring lots of things to you. Despite that, you don't look at it. Just turn your face. That is the sign of a real Sahajogi. To him, it doesn't matter. Temperamentally, it's not that he does something for that or tells his mind, nothing. Temperamentally, he doesn't care for money, just because he's above it. The one who is above money is a real Sahajogi. The one who is engulfed in the nonsense and the maya of money is not a Sahajogi. Of course, I have seen most of the Sahajogis are extremely honest, especially in the West. But in India, there's a disease, as you have some here viruses. We have certain viruses in India also. So they still go on running after money. To them, money is important. But in the evolutionary process, if you reach a certain state where you rise above your Nabhi chakra, rise your Nabhi chakra, then money is not so important. It's not so important. To me, I find I cannot buy things unnecessary. Of course, there are so many unnecessary things gathered because you people give me gifts, presents, this, that. But myself, you will be amazed, I'm so nervous, or I should say hesitant, or you may call it absolutely absent from the spot where they are doing any business, any purchasing. Come here and fix it, please. It falls down, so I'm holding on.
Okay.
Correct? Now all right. In the same way, Sahajogis have to fix their mind. To their spirit and enjoy the powers of pure spirit, your own. That enjoyment, once you get it, you don't fall to your greed. This is something very, very simple. But sometimes you don't do it. You get enamored by something, maybe a car, maybe an aeroplane, I don't know what, whatever it is. It's a headache to have too many cars, isn't it? But people have. They think by that people are impressed and they think no end of themselves or not. Nothing. If they are impressed, what is the use to us? What do we get out of it? Sahajogi has his own spirit to enjoy more than anything else. He doesn't want to possess anything. It's a headache to possess things also. The other side of it is a Mahalakshmi. If that principle is within you, Mahalakshmi principle, you will have never a problem of money. On the contrary, you will know how to stop it. So far, as I am concerned, I get fed up of my Mahalakshmi principle. Because I don't know from where it works out, how it works out. Without any effort. But temperamentally, I have no interest at all. Temperamentally. But it is I don't know what is the cause of this effect. Now supposing I buy some small thing, just like that. It will sell at least 10 times more. It will be of value at least 10 times more. I don't know how. It's very surprising. automatically I'll buy something very small and I find it's very expensive. How it works, that must be miracles of Mahalakshmi, I think. So, what I have to tell you is this, that you should not worry about your financial situations at all. Do not go on calculating. Do not see how much money you have in the bank, what you have to do with your money, where you should invest. I have seen people going mad planning the whole thing. There's no need to do that once you are a surgeon. It all works automatically. The greed is within you just like any other disease. As you have diseases, greed is also there. As your diseases can get cured with Sahaja, your diseases, as much as your greed is, it vanishes. If you don't know what is greed is, the only way to counterbalance is to become extremely generous. If you are extremely generous, greed will run away. That may be another way of doing it. Supposing you get something in your house and you think it is too much. Not to get rid of it, but just you think it's too much, you should give it to someone. You just start thinking, whom can you give? And immediately you remember, oh, that person doesn't have this. Let me give him this. And if you give him, he'll be so thankful, so thankful. And he'll say all kinds of nice things to you, which normally nobody would say to you. Nobody. And it's surprising how joy-giving it is. How people like your generosity. So you have to be generous, just generous. Not with yourself, but with others. As much as possible, be generous. Generosity is very love-giving. One of the expressions of your love. Many a times it has happened with me. That I saw somebody needed something and kept it in my mind. And I bought that thing and gave it to that person. And the amount of love that person gave me was 1,000 times more than what I would have got joy out of buying it, buy that thing. It was so insipid for me, but for him it was. He told so many people, mother gave me this, mother gave me that. I was surprised. Then they asked me, mother, how did you give him? I said, just out of love. Many people took to Sahaja thinking what a generosity is. So to be generous is the best way to live in this world. After all, it's a headache to have too many things. Better to get rid of them. But out of love, if you do that, you will know how much they'll be appreciative of you. Another thing is to get rid of greed. You should try to do some sort of a collective social work. Supposing you go to some place where lots of poor people are there. I tell you, your greed will just drop. Be amazed how these people are living, in what conditions. Why do I care for all the wealth and everything? That will be just shocking. Sometimes you see people in India also in a very bad condition. Once I went to Calcutta and I was some or other, you see, by chance, I happened to be in places where people were in a very, very great poverty, even the children. And you will be amazed, for days together I wouldn't eat my food. I was crying and not eating my food. I just didn't know what to do. Because I felt, what is this? Why these people are so poor? And I was helpless, so I was crying. That one day I should try to do something for them. It is really remarkable at a very young age of mine. I started a leper home. I started an infirmary, a refugee home, all kinds of things. And I never even thought that whatever money I have, if I give to these people, I may have to give up some things. I also sold some of my things because so pleasure giving, I tell you, so pleasure giving, so joy giving to be generous. It is so paying in every way that you should be generous. That is the quality of Kubera. He is an extremely generous personality. And that's what personality you should be. So I've seen that Sahajogis are very generous. So far nobody has told me that somebody is a miserly fellow. So far. But I'm sure one day will come when we'll have people of very high quality. In Sahaja we don't say, like other cults say, that you give up your clothes, you give up your family, you stay in a forest or in a hut or in nothing of that. Don't give up anything. You have to give up from your heart. Just it should happen in your personality. Don't have to give up. And if you have that well built in spirituality, you will not even think of grabbing someone. On the contrary, you would like to give up everything. My father was even worse than me, I should say. He always used to leave the house open, all doors open. He said, no thief will come if you keep the doors closed. So one day a thief came and he took away his gramophone. In the old times, these big horn ones, he took away. The next day my father was sitting very sad. So my mother asked her, why are you sad? Because of the gramophone. No, I'm only sad because it seems he's a connoisseur of music. He has taken the gramophone, but no records. So my mother said, all right, what should we do? Should we advertise in the newspaper that you take away your records? I mean, such a beauty that even after so many years, I'm telling you and you are enjoying. What a beautiful character it was of generosity. But if you force it through religion, through any such ideas, that you give up that, don't have to give up. You give up from within. If you are not attached to it, you have given up. That should be there. And if you all enjoy your generosity and charity, nothing like it. I have known people who are very rich and all that. but they lack generosity. That is another quality of Kubera. He perhaps understands banking, perhaps. That time there were no banks, but I think must be, because the way he manages banks, it seems to me that he's sitting on top of them. And that's why still in the banks there is no problem. I don't know, but he's a very clever person, very intelligent, very alert, which is important if you have to deal with money. Though he was absolutely detached from money. And just see his life, what he did. He lived in childhood with his guru, and he used to take what you call the cows and herds outside in the jungles. That is how he lived in his childhood. And later on, he was playing with the boys who were looking after the cows in a very, ordinary family. He never hankered after money. He used to steal the butter, because these ladies used to sell these to Kansas military people. So he used to eat that, so that this lady should not give it to them. Just imagine, such a little boy like him. So actually, how he was teaching them a lesson. Those ladies were greedy, wanted to give that to these horrible soldiers, and he would eat all that butter himself. In everything that he did, what you see is extreme generosity. Extreme generosity. With all his intelligence, he was so good. And he killed his own uncle, I should say. For him, it was not important. So-called relations were not important. But what you see in our India especially, that relations are very important. The father is a thief, his son is a thief, his grandson is a thief, all of them are thieves. Can you imagine? I haven't seen in a family, if there's one person who is a thief, anyone is progeny or honest. It's a very funny thing. But such greed crawls into their minds that they don't think is important. They just think that stealing is the only way one can live. Though in India, there are people who are extremely honest. I have seen our servants, they never steal nothing, never. I don't know, they have no reasoning for it. It's a matter of habit. They never steal anything. Very surprising. Why? Why don't they steal? They are happy with their lives. They don't want to change it. They don't want to have these horrible things that can put them in jail. But they don't know. They don't even think about it. They just don't do it. Why? because they have a sense of shame. In the poorer people's sense of shame is very, very developed. In that society, they have a great respect for people who are honest. And they are all honest. One of them may be not, but they have no respect for such a person. Because they think self-respect is the biggest thing. Can you imagine these poor people? They have food once a day. But to them, their self-respect is above everything. So the third solution for this kind of a nonsensical greed is your self-respect. Why should you steal? Why should you have anything that is stolen? Or why should you have anything that belongs to another person? If you have that self-respect within you, you won't touch anything that is not yours. When the servants can do that, why not people who are not that badly off? It is a temperament of a higher level, I think, which they develop, where there is self-respect is much more important than all kinds of other things that may satisfy their greed. One thing about greed is it is never satisfied. It is never satisfied. I have seen people who were very rich once upon a time became very, very poor. So to them life has become hell. They can't live without their great, I should say, pomp and show. But they don't understand that it was false. They just go on feeling extremely downtrodden when they lose their money. Then there are people who want to have money. They'll do anything but get money. It's a very funny thing, but also power is the same as that. If you have your own powers, you don't hanker after these powers. But they want to have power because they want to have money. And they get power with money. Can you imagine? Where are human beings? At what level? At what level of evolution they are? They are going round and round the circle of this money. This is Nabhi Chakra, which has to improve, which gives you satisfaction. If your Nabhi Chakra is satisfied, you have achieved the state of Kubera. That's very important to see that your Nabhi should be satisfied. There are so many other kinds of things we have. But I think now the worst is this greed. And this, if it is managed somehow or other, brought to its own level, then I think world will improve very much. May God bless you.
let us offer some of the names of Shri Kubera. You are the God of all wealth. You own, bestow, and distribute all matter that has the potential to express love of the spirit. Shri Nirmal Kubera. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmal Kubera Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are Shri Krishna. You sowed the seed of spirituality. Shri Krishi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Krishi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who loves agriculture and basic industries. You support the primary sectors of the world economy. Shri Krishi Priya. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Krishi Priya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are Shri Vishnu. Your brilliance and grace permeates the universe. Shri Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are worshipped by the universe. Shri Vishwa Puja. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishwa Puja Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one from whose Nabhi universes arise. Shri Padmanabha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Padmanabha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You enjoy the drama of the world. Shri Natya Priya. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Natya Priya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. The entire material world is in your play, and you are the supporter of that prey. Shri Leeladhar. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Leeladhar Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the ruler over the ether, the one who looks after the purity of communication. Shri Akashishwar. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Akasheshwara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are part and parcel of Shri Virata, the great universal being. Shri Viratanga. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Viratanga Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who gave the goddess your essence as her regal divine nose. Shri Sunasik. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sunasika Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the great king who establishes the dharma of a king. Shri Mahabhupati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahabhupati Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who has the knowledge of the dharma of the king. Shri Raja Nitignya. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rajnitignya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are an expert in the art of divine diplomacy, without which the world would lose balance and prosperity could not be sustained. Shri Rajniti Nipun. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Rajaniriti Nipun Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are an expert in the knowledge of the pure science of economic well-being. Shri Arthaniti Nipun. Om Tvameva Saksha Shri Arthaniti Nipun Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are discretion and wisdom. Shri Vivek Buddhi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vivek Buddhi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who has unlimited resources available for the auspicious cause of Sahaj Yoga. You gave Shri Draupadi her ever full plate, Shri Akshay Nidhi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Akshay Nidhi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who keeps balance in every situation in life, whether in happiness or in sorrow. You teach a balanced attitude to life. Shri Sthita Prajna. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sthita Prajna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the one who flows. Through you, wealth circulates to benefit everyone. Shri Gatiman. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gatiman Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are completely satisfied. You are the path to complete satisfaction, which is the enjoyment of the spirit. Shri Trupta. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Trupta Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha.
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रिज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे
Tonight, we are going to worship Shri Krishna as Virat. First, it is important to understand the incarnation of Shri Krishna. Krishna word comes from the word Krishi. Krishi means agriculture. He sown the seeds of spirituality. And for that, first of all, he had to think, where are we as far as spirituality is concerned? How is the land? So what had happened at the time of Sri Rama, that he created lots of maryadas. And by these maryadas, people started mentally thinking about it. I'm not supposed to do that, I'm not supposed to do this. It was just a mental binding. It was not spontaneous, it was not search. As a result, people became extremely serious. They wouldn't talk much and they wouldn't laugh, they wouldn't enjoy anything. So Sri Krishna decided that first of all, we must remove them from this conditioning. And this conditioning has to be removed in such a manner that they enjoy themselves. Then he found out there were 3 suggestions as far as achieving the goal was concerned. So first one, as he says, is to become a realized soul, sthita prajna, to go beyond all temptations, go beyond all ego, go beyond all kinds of conditioning, and to become a sthita prajna. Sthita prajna is where he doesn't feel like ordinary people, attracted towards things, but is absolutely detached. And this detached person doesn't take to any grievances, jealousies, all these things. That he told. But how to achieve it, he never told. And the second thing he described is that you must work, you have to work. After all, you have got all the human tendencies is to work. But the fruit of the work, you leave it at the lotus feet of God, or you may call the divine power. This is another trick of his, because he realized how human beings were twisted and how they had an ego. If you tell them something, how they'll misinterpret it. So he took the other way around, that tell them something absurd. Now whatever work we do, your ego is intact, and with that ego, you can never give it up at the lotus feet of the divine. Then impossible. So he made an impossible situation that after some time people will realize that this cannot be done, and they'll give up this idea of leaving everything at the lotus feet of the divine. This was the one, how he prepared the land. Second thing he said, Pushpam phalam toyam. Flowers, fruit and water. Whatever you offer me, I'll take it. I'll take it. But when you do that, you must have ananya bhakti. Ananya means completely single-minded bhakti. When there is not the other. This is only possible after realization. Only after realization you can put the fruits of your work at the lotus feet of the Divine, and only after self-realization you can have ananya bhakti, means the devotion which is singular. These absurd conditions he put for human beings because they were so much complicated. So many people tell me, Mother, we are doing ananya bhakti. How? Because we are singing on the street, we are taking the name of God all the time, we are going to Pandharipur, you see, in rags, and for 1 month we walk singing. This kind of absurd ideas about bhakti, he never gave. But it is the way he wanted to neutralize the absurdities of human beings, that they thought this was the bhakti, which is not. Ananya bhakti is only possible when you are realized soul, when you are connected with the Divine, when there is not the other. This is how he tried to make three-way attack, on human beings, in a way, on their stupidity. Because he thought that if I tell them directly, do like this, do like that, then they'll say, of course we did it, and still we never achieved it. In India, there's a big cult, we can call it, people who go to Pandharipur, for 1 month they walk in rags, singing the songs, and on the way they go on eating food at different places. According to them, this is Ananya Bhakti. And they achieve nothing. They become very sick and very tired and have a very bad old age. But who can tell them? They are all lost in it. So this is a way one could tackle human beings to show their stupidity. And so many people come and ask me, as I told you, that how is it we do so much bhakti of Shri Krishna and we have achieved nothing. So he's the one who prepared the land for sowing. We can say he's the one who was like a very great agriculturist. So his name was Krishna. There are so many things I've told you about him, how his name came as Krishna, then as how he was called as Radha, or who was Radha, who was Krishna, and all those things. But when he talked of these things, also he told that you should become Sthitaprajna. That is, they call as Jnana Yoga. Jnana means knowledge. So you should get absolute knowledge. That he didn't say how. That you know what is absolute knowledge, which you can feel it on your fingertips in Sahaja. Another thing is, his speciality was to create discretion in people. He thought by doing all these things in a stupid manner, they might develop a discretion to know that this is not the way you can achieve anything, you have to get your self-realization. Discretion was very important. At this juncture, when we are facing a sort of a challenge of this new millennium, that the whole world is going to be destroyed and all those things people are talking, it is really very important to know through discretion what is good and what is bad. One may talk of something as very good, something as very bad. But the divine discretion is very, very different. Very different, and which acts by itself. Once you are in the realm of divine discretion, you cannot commit mistakes, even if you want to do it. I'll give you my example. We went to buy a house. And the fellow was, you see, like a beggar. He came, he said, we have nothing, we have no food, they have taken away all our things, and we are just absolutely starving. When he said that we are starving, we have nothing. So I felt pity for him. I said, all right, increase the price. First we increased the price. Still he was saying, no, give us more. Still we increased the price. I told my husband, you increase the price. Though reluctantly, he increased the price. Third time again we increased the price. Then he said, no, we'll have something more than that, a little more. Immediately, you see, this discretion worked. And I said, these are hypocrites. I just left them and sat in the car. At the right moment. That was not such a good proposition or anything. But I could see I'm buying it out of my pity, we may call it compassion. But above the compassion was this discretion, which said, nothing doing, you better get out of it. So this divine discretion is a very, very important thing which we should see how it works and should be satisfied with. Not to feel bad that you have missed a chance or anything, but you must feel very happy that this thing has happened and that your divine discretion has taken on. So, sometimes it appears that in that divine discretion you may do something wrong, you have done something wrong. But if it is divine, ultimately it will turn out to be very good. I gave you a very basic example, but that is also very true when you practice surgery. The discretion of divine discretion is extremely important to play a very great part in our lives. Because this divine discretion gives us the real joy of our being, of ourself, of such. So the third point was for him to make people joyous and happy. But with all these maryadas of Sri Rama, he didn't know how to do it. So, to give people joy, he said, all right, let us dance, let us sing, let us play Holi, all sorts of things. And with that, he really originated many things which were sort of not serious, may look frivolous, but in that there was joy expressed. All that he did to give them a full idea as for a Sahaj Yogi or for a, we can say for a self-realized soul, what should be the attitude towards everything. But it is not that you have to do it, but it just works out. It is like that. That in the state of Sahaj, you enjoy everything. Enjoyment. And that is what his idea was, to create a sense of joy among people. Many people, there are lots of critics have criticized this part of his life. According to them, religion means you should become just old at the age of 20 years, you should become an old man of 80 years, something like that. Funny ideas of religious achievement. But he talked of joy, and he never talked of renunciation. He never talked that you give up your family, you give up your children, you give up everything. Never, never. He said you must enjoy. Enjoy with detachment. For people it is very difficult to understand. How can it be it is without detachment? With attachment you can never enjoy. If you are attached to something,
you cannot enjoy anything in a full way. Like supposing you are attached to your child. Very simple thing, you are attached to your child. If you are attached to your child, then you will be bothered about things which should not be there, which will not give joy to the child either. You will not allow your child, say, to go out or to talk to people, whatever it is, all kinds of restrictions you will put. But if you have really the divine discretion, then you will know with whom he should talk, where he should go, what he should enjoy, and you will see that he enjoys life. Any attachment with anything doesn't give you the full view of that person, of that thing. If you are detached, then you can see it, say, from above him, above the thing. If you are detached, you become thoughtlessly aware also. As I said, now see, carpets are there. They are very, very beautiful carpets. Now, if they are here, if they are mine, I'll be worried. I'll be all the time worried because I'm attached that these carpets should not be spoiled, something will go wrong. But if I'm not attached, I look at those carpets, and what do I see? The joy that is put in by the artist who has made them. And that joy really tries to reflect in me also. That joy comes in me. So to have anything, attachment to anything, there will be joy, I should say, there will be happiness, but not joy. Because joy is single. And happiness is double, happiness and unhappiness. So even if I try to enjoy something, I'll think, oh, still there, this point is there. But joy is all-pervading. It has no boundaries. And you just get dissolved in the ocean of joy. That was what Shri Krishna's idea was, that to cut out these maryadas. Nowadays we see the maryadas of so many things are really useless. For example, you have discovered the maryadas of religion. See, when they live in maryadas, then what happens? They sort of coagulate, or they have all kinds of germination inside, like the pond which is absolutely bound. It is not flowing like river. So like that, you see, it becomes a kind of a closed mind with these maryadas. And when you have these maryadas, you start thinking whether I should do it or not, whether I'll enjoy it or not. With these maryadas only, you kill the joy. Now we have other maryadas about, say, we have country, as I told you, about the religion. Now many people who would love to come to Sahaja, but because they have maryadas of silly things of their religion, they cannot come. They think this is our religion, while they don't understand. Falsehood becomes the maryadas, and they don't understand that what is the maryada actually made by the religion also. You see now in Islam what is happening is, with these maryadas, they want to have another country, this thing, that thing. In other Christian religion also same thing happening. Also in Hindu religion. All these maryadas are really stagnating them completely, and they are getting crushed into it. There's no discretion, because they have said it, they do it. They are so much blindfolded about it that they cannot see what is right and what is wrong. But after such you can see, you can laugh at them and you can see. Then we have social maryadas. social maryadas are there, which are sometimes when abandoned can become very horrid also. Like in the West now, the women think that the less dress they wear, the more beautiful they are. This is a new thing they have started. Now this is absurd. If you see the description behind, is very simple, that we have been animals and now we don't want to have any clothes because we were animals. It's an animal heritage that's why so many women do not want to wear full dresses. It's just animal behavior. So the maryada of good maryadas also people can give up, saying that we don't want any maryadas, we are free, we can do whatever we like. But in that freedom, what do you achieve? Your animal instinct works in that freedom and you think you are a very free personality. Then we have maryadas of our country. God has not made different countries at all. Nor it is true there are different countries, but variety is there. Variety of people, variety of places is there. These varieties must be accepted as something very artistic. And one should not get ruined and confused with those ideas that we are Americans, we are Indians, we are this and we are that. You are not. Now you can know after Sahaja Yoga that you are all Sahaja Yogis. And you don't belong to any country as such. The country may belong to you, but you don't belong to the country. I mean, the work is today to understand that if you really want to care for all these countries and all that, then you must do some work. Work of Sahaja Yoga, so that people get rid of these silly ideas of fighting for territory, for this, for that. All over the world this is going on. We want this land, we want that land. Land belongs to God, not to human beings. And what is the use of fighting for land, I don't understand. But this confusion is there and illusion is there, and people work out on this confusion and illusion to such an extent that they ruin their lives, the lives of their children. So many people are lost, so many people are in the lunatic asylum, I should say, because they end up in some sort of a refugee camp. They are having a good house, nicely living there, then you become a refugee. Why? Because they believe that they can have their own land, they can have their own place, and they should live there. This idea comes, I think, from some stupid leaders who want to have for themselves these lands. And that's how people fight for land. There's no need to fight for land or fight for your country or fight for this or fight for that. But the situation is such that unless and until you fight, you cannot get to the truth. And that's why, if you remember, that Shri Krishna told Arjuna that you fight. You have to fight, that's your work. You have to fight these people because they are the people who do not live with dharma. They are adharmis, so you have to fight. And that is how his fighting was so much justified, because after fighting the war, they got back what they deserved. They were deceived. And this is what Shri Krishna said, that you should not, by any chance, become a slave of these people, but you fight it back. So fighting also is justified in the divine discretion. It's again the divine discretion, where you have to fight because you don't want to be a slave. If you are a slave, you are no good. So for that you can fight. But when people start fighting for separation or for territory, is not correct. On the contrary, one should never think of separating from the mainlands. It creates lots of problems. But now we believe in the global religion. We believe in the global territory. We don't have to ask for anything. Anywhere you go, you are the citizen of that place. Anybody who wants to go to Russia ever, the whole Russians will be with you. You go to America, they'll be with you. That's how, because all these are ideas of human beings. And if the human beings get transformed, there will be no problem of any war or any territory to be achieved. This was the divine discretion of Shri Krishna, which is instilled within us. As you know, that this is a part and parcel of the Vishuddhi Chakra, where Shri Krishna resides. But when he rises to your Sahasrara, when he rises to that level, then he becomes Virat. So Virata's chakra is placed in the head here above the Agya. And this Virat is the form of Sri Krishna who has risen above the Agya. When you are risen above the Agya, you become a part and parcel of Virata's land, we can say. Because unless and until you are above your ego, you are still involved with yourself and with wrong ideas of maryadas. But when you rise above that and you become the Virat, the great, then you are in the land of Virata. And Virata's powers are tremendous. As been seen by Arjuna, the form of Virat. The power of Virat becomes so tremendous that it acts globally. It acts in such a manner that you sit here and anywhere it can act. You have seen that now. Many times people say, Mother, it's a miracle. My mother was sick and she was not here and I just prayed and she got all right. This is all the power of Virat. The power of Virat is that it can penetrate into the subtle side of human beings in such a manner that everything we are connected. We are not separate. Every drop is connected with the ocean. We are connected with the whole universe. And when you become a citizen, I should say, of Virat, then all the things with which you are connected also get your vibrations, your ideas, your ambitions, everything passes through that. And it works. You have seen how many miracles have taken place in your lives. It is the Virata Shakti that works. Now for that, we have to know how to do worship of Virat. First of all, you have to rise above your ego. Very important. Otherwise, how can you worship? There is your ego standing in between. And how can you rise up to the point of Virat? You have to pass through that. Once you are above your ego, you enter into the kingdom of Virat. There the king is the Virat and you are the subject who are looked after completely by Virata Shakti, by the power of Virat. But at that stage you become really a universal personality in a way, because whatever are problems universally. Now not necessarily that they should be attached to you or connected to you. Supposing a person is of that level, now there may be a war in some other country. It can stop. somebody who is being oppressed can win over. Anywhere your compassion moves, it works out. Whenever your attention will go, it will work out. And sometimes you are surprised as to how it works, Mother, how these things work out, how these coincidences have taken place. Only thing is, you have crossed that state of your ego and have gone into the state of Virat, which is a very important thing to do, is to enter into the area of Virat. Then you don't think this is your country, this belongs to you, that belongs to you. This belonging business finishes up. Then you belong to Virat, and he uses you for his own purpose, in the sense that when your whole thinking is different, becomes global thinking, then he acts. And then his powers are manifold. And Krishna's power is that he uses a conch to call people. I have given conches to all the leaders, so we have to now announce and call people. But at the level of Virat, you don't have to do all that. At the level of Virat, it just people see, they'll know. Just they will watch you and they will know. Just they'll think you are human beings and you are so sweet, so good, just like gems shining all the time, so they'll be impressed. This comes through the Virata's blessing. When you become that, then you forget about other things, like you have big positions or anything, you come from a very rich family, or that, all these nonsensical things which are actually not true. And all these things on which you want to exist are no more. People like to show off their wealth. Some people like to be very sort of demonstrative of what they think they are. But in the case of a person who rises about his ego and is a part and parcel of that Virata Shakti, enters into the kingdom of Virat, he knows he's very small. He's very small compared to that, and he just dissolves into that Shakti. And this should happen to us, that we should humble down. We should humble down and know that our powers, whatever we have, if they give us ego, we should get rid of it. We should not have that ego. We should get rid of it, and we should actually achieve that state where you can be called as citizens of the Virata's power. May God bless you all.
The 64 powers of the Virata on the auspicious occasion of Shri Virata Puja, Kubera, Italy, September 3rd through 5th, 1999. Holy Virat, the unconscious mind of God Almighty, bestow on the yogis gathered here the grace of Shri Krishna's all-pervading vibrations. Om Tvameva Sakshat, Shri Virata Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Your seat is the brain. May the subtlety still hidden in our brains manifest through your work, Shri Krishna. Your Virata power gives a brilliant intellect which knows the truth. Teach us to master our intellect and to not be a slave of it. Shri Krishna, you keep the yogis under the protection of your might as the Virat. You enlighten our discrimination so that the source of art and science, the Virat Shakti, is known. Shri Krishna, help us to completely cross through Hamsa Chakra and allow us to enter the Virata. Mahavirata, the brain of the being of God Almighty, please absorb the power of our spirit. Make our heart and brain as one. O Virata, you give doubtless awareness. You know you have the light. You know you are complete. Your power absorbs the ideas of separation and difference and brings us to Nirvikalpa. O Supreme Personality, give us the absorbing power of the Virata so we can accept your holy advice. The Hebrews worshipped you, O Lord, as a shield that protects, and as the one who lifts up the head, the great Jehovah. Master of masters, your awe-inspiring cosmic world helped to form the manifested universes. You are the great primordial personality which is reflected in all our chakras and manifest in all the countries. All the countries of the world vibrate to your 16,000 all-pervading powers. The Viratangana Shakti gives the 16 nerves of the Vishuddhi which create collectivity. Virata Shakti is the Akshara, the highest truth, the divine rest, the Shakti of the 16 petals of the Vishuddhi. You are the primordial Father within our brains, who came as the Father of Shri Jesus. You are the pure intelligence described in the Quran as Akbar. You are the guide. Your rod and staff comforts and directs us. On the field of life, you run an incomprehensible course, rich with life and death. You penetrate every atom as the guiding vibrational force. Through your puja, may we receive the blessing of Shri Krishna as Virat, the inexplicable bliss of Nirananda, giving light to the brain. The Viratangana power, in her form as Sri Radha, sustains the energy and gives joy. Enlightenment culminates the evolutionary process of Sri Vishnu as he becomes the Virat aspect of Sri Krishna. Awaken all the countries of the world to their role as part and parcel of Sri Krishna's Leela. Sri Krishna, you worship Sri Nirmala Viratangana, the supreme power of the absolute cosmic being. May the Virat, the universal unconscious, be fully expressed through the power of Sahasrara Chakra. The light of 1,000 suns you give. As modern Arjunas, let us know the radiance and vast unity and variety of God Almighty. Shri Virata, sacred marvel seen only by Arjuna, you are a reflection of the macrocosm. Our Holy Mother graces this wonder. Shri Krishna, you revealed myriad colors and marvels beyond description when Arjuna glimpsed your complete form of Virata. Deities with mace and discus and splendid crowns form the body of Virat, having faces of blazing fire that give light to the world. You hold the reins of the chariot, and you control the mind of the Virata. Give us ever more subtle brains, train us to discipline our minds. Ancient impulse, all particles have their source in your etheric power. All music reflects your song of songs. Divine power of yoga, absorb our central nervous system into one, uniting us in one world, one enlightened brain. You are the center of the Ekadesha Rudra powers which will redeem humanity. You give the integration between brain and heart that makes it easy to have a divine and dharmic life. You are the vehicle for understanding Dharma and preserving society. Your brain has no worries. Please bless us to know that we are tranquil reflections of Shri Krishna. Enlighten our brains completely, so we are able to become Sakshi Swarupatva, a witness to the play that allows problems to be solved. As the Pandavas won on the battlefield, let us win against the demon of ecological problems, which starts in the brain and is reflected outside. The yogis are your viratas, able to see problems from the inside. Please transform the brainless people of America who justify wrongdoing through their modern intellects. Release us from blessings which have become bindings, and hold Sahaja Yogis back from becoming the totality. Give us your divine diplomacy, which uses an inspired intellect that is benevolent and detached. You erase ancient memories of racialism from the mind of humanity and impose patterns of unity in Sahaj culture. Protect our hair through which flow vibrations and the powers of Virata. Let our brains register the truth and protect us from the false ideas of freedom. Let the divine vibrations cleanse the brains of humanity of any problems of black magic. Your power of Virata keeps us in the present and stops the review of the past and the anticipation of the future. Shri Krishna, you move quickly against enemies. Please destroy the problem of psychotherapies that use analysis and false views of the totality. Cleanse the brains of people damaged by the avidya of Freud. Inspire our brains, as you did Abraham Lincoln, to give constructive ideas to the world. Your power, O Virata, ends all contradictions in the upside-down brains of people. Let the messages being spread all over the world by modern communications express the auspiciousness of the Virata Shakti. Make the brains of humanity no longer restless. Let the Sahaj way of knowledge of self rein in the uncontrolled ego. The miracle photos from the Shri Vishnumaya power reveal deities who gather and give splendor to the sovereignty of Shri Krishna. The power of Virat with the Vishnumaya Shakti helps us see through materialism and its false attractions. The Viratangana power enhances our brain's capacity to be compassionate and creative. Preserve us from the unholiness of TV, film, and internet which promote violence and lust. Shri Krishna, you weld together the social, political, and economic aspects of society into Sahaj culture. You end all corruption. You contain Hiranyagarbha, the embryo of creation. Let the Jagruti of the Virat bring the beauty of true Sahaj art, music, and song to the world. Make us all Arjunas, brave enough to fight the problems in American society that encourage violence among teenagers. You control the five senses and release from delusion those seeking to know the greatness of yoga. Release the young people from delusion. You are the vehicle for understanding Dharma and preserving society. Help America's influential personalities to awaken to yoga. Bhakti to Shri Krishna as Virata springs from an unending love for Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. One-pointed devotion to you brings us to the feet of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
we'll offer the 5 mantras of the Virat. You are the universal form of the goddess of the home and the household, combined with the god of wealth and prosperity. Shri Grihalakshmi Kubera Virat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Grihalakshmi Kubera Virat Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the universal form of God the Creator and Shri Krishna, who appeared as Shri Vitthala before Pundalika in Pandharpur. Shri Brahmadeva Vitthala Virat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Brahmadeva Vitthala Virat Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the universal form of Shri Vishnu Maya, the sister of Shri Krishna, who manifests herself as the thunderbolt. Shri Vishnu Maya Virat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishnu Maya Virat Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are the universal form of Shri Krishna, who appeared as Shri Vitthala before Pundalika in Pandharpur. Shri Vitthala Virat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vitthala Virat Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. You are absolute pure joy, Shri Nirananda. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirananda Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let us all prepare for Aarti.
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने दिए अवतार माँ, कितने दिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला माँ, कर दिया उजियाला। कलयुग में माया है, कलयुग में माया है। फिर भी पहचाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर दुख से दूर करना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।